Yes, but...
I was never a mime. Oh. Well, don't...
Morris, take a look at those...
The skulls?
Not quite.
Oh, well, what do you mean?
Well... When are...
It was the worst night in the world when Aggie was born. It began in the old village, the one swept away by the rivers of fire. The ground, I thought we would all die. Everyone washed in the burning orange death. And Aggie's mother, how we made it as far as the cliff top by the sea. The mountain was still roaring and roaring. The rock but Aggie was perfect. Small and angry, her tiny fists pummeling the air. We chose a spot for the new village, closer to the beach. The burning rivers cooled. I made sure everyone knew that a life that began in this way would be special.
Mike, no.
Okay, Beautiful.
There is so much...
I'm getting...
Of course we watched her. We had heard of her birth and seen her on the shore. Her feet sometimes in the seawater, her body. We did not show ourselves at first. As a test, we left the mirror on the black shore, born of the volcano on the same day as her. She picked it up, turned it from side to side. The next time I saw her, I introduced myself. We sang together, and I showed her how the mirror worked. How if you emptied your mind and thought of air, and she saw a girl, her own daughter not yet born, as leader of the driver.
Oh, I...
This thing is...
I was always fearless. My mother Aggie told me there was nothing I couldn't do. With Otsul and without, I hunted the deer in the woods and younger still. One time Aggie had me knock her tooth out when she was in terrible pain. I didn't mind even when the blood, spears and knives were my nature. Death and courage were my meat and drink. I knew when Aggie warned us the mauler was sick and there would be fewer calves for the following years. None of us listened. It was to be my first cull. I wanted their blood. She came to the beach after the Molo slaughter, her hair wild, eyes burning with fury, raged and shouted like a woman out of her mind. We had killed... As Otsul marked me with oil and blood, I did not mourn my mother leaving. I was young and foolish.
To think that
Aggie must have sensed the...
what a beauty.
She was alone, and I would bring her food sometimes, samphire and sea urchins. She would make dry food and we would eat. We would sing together, make tea together. We became her family. She had a companion for a few seasons, a hind, who came down from the mountain and slept at her fire. And then one night we all felt it. Those of us in the water and those above. The island waking. I found Aggie awake, tending her fire, unsleeping, unresting, staring into her mirror. She told me she'd seen the island sinking. Aggie went to the shore and blew the sinistral shell, calling our people up from the water. Aggie sang for them. As the dawn approached, Aggie left the beach to return to her people, to tell them what must be done.
We have to, Morris.
Such...
We heard the shell and knew Aggie had returned. Ibni was the leader then. It had taken many seasons, more than we would have liked. Some of the younger ones didn't know Aggie and didn't want to hear her, called her a moon-shot crone. But Ibni looked in her mother's face, but Aggie brought us the answer. She would give herself to the island. Ibni's voice shook. Surely a deer. I offered my blade, but Aggie turned me away. She took her knife that had cut her own cord the night the volcano last erupted and wrapped Ibni's fingers tight. Aggie embraced her daughter. Ibni whispered something, but I could not catch the words. Both women's faces shone with tears. Aggie delivered her final message. She told us her body must not be burned or given to the sea, but lain in the earth of the island beneath the mountain. Ibni was shaking, and then I realized it was not just Ibni. The whole island was trembling under our feet. As Aggie took Ibni's hand and guided the knife to her side, we saw the fish folk rising from the sea, hundreds of them. So Aggie was quiet the whole time, but Ibni cried out, a sound of longing and hurting from her heart like I had never heard. We wept then, in sorrow and relief. Then the fish folk were among us, countless, numberless. One embraced Ibni, holding her up as Ibni and the fish folk took Aggie up onto the mountain. They laid her in the peat alongside the knife and all the things. Ibni watched over Aggie for days afterwards. Before she was covered, she placed a sacred carved stone, Aggie's beloved.
Oh, Hey, Sparky, it feels a bit...
You were the one who
Yeah,
dug.
but I... well...
Okay.
But then, why...
Aggie thought it was important. You are very welcome.
Yes!
More!
Hey, Aggie.
You,
Of course.
me?
Come now.
The one part of Shelmerston that looks just the same as the first day I saw it. I suppose it always will.
I love this beach. It's always been my favourite beach. I'm gonna go run.
Aggie, look at Sparky. She's shining.
That's the hope and the joy shining out of her.
That's it, isn't it? The point of all of this.
It is hope, home. This island, it chose the two of you just as it chose me.
And where will you be heading now? Heaven or something?
Heaven, what's that?
Well, I don't quite know how to explain it. But to me, it would be an awful lot like this beach.
I don't know where I'm going, but I'm hoping to see Ibni, my daughter. It's been a very long time, but I remember her. We never forget the ones we love, do we, Morris?
No, I don't suppose we do.
I think she wants something, Morris.
Huh. Would you look at that? I just found a tennis ball in my pocket. Here you are, girl.
you.